One of the most crucial elements of any resume is your personal statement, or what is sometimes referred to as your career goal statement. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can use a personal statement to really help your medical student resume stand out from the rest. Hello, I'm Dr. Anthony Llewellyn. I'm the Career Doctor. I'm here to help you manage your medical career. In this viewer-requested series, we are focusing in on the medical student resume. And today, I'm talking about personal statement. If you don't know what a personal statement is, it's that piece of narrative text that normally follows your name and brief details on your resume and summarizes you as a job applicant. Other names for personal statements are personal summary, personal profile, and career goal statement. Now, if you've watched any of my videos about CVs and resumes, you will know how important I view your personal statement to be. It's possibly the most important part of your resume. And personal statements are even more important, if that's possible, when it comes to the medical student resume. This is because you have no formal on-the-job experience as a doctor, which is normally the next most critical part of a job resume. So let's talk first briefly about the benefits of a personal statement, and we'll go over how you should construct your personal statement towards the end of this video. So the benefit of a personal statement really boils down to one big thing, which is your ability to control the narrative of your resume. Think about it. If a prospective employer has not met you before, and they are reviewing your resume along with a bunch of others, having a quick, snappy, well-written summary at the top of your resume is like gold to them. It saves them time by giving them the key things that they need to know. Think of it like the abstract on a research paper or an executive summary on a report. How many times have you read one or other of these and then not even bothered reading to the rest of the paper or report? I'm betting it's at least 9 times out of 10. Look, people only have limited memories, and like it or not, they are going to try to simplify you to make it easier on them. So what is better than to control this simplification through the use of a well-constructed and controlled statement on the top of your resume? Why not control the narrative of your career? Why not you do that rather than them making it up by hopping all over your CV or resume? And even if they do know you, which happens a lot in medicine, the summary is still going to help them in that simplification, as they don't really know everything about you. So that's why a personal statement is crucial. Let's now talk about how to construct one. So, in order to go about constructing your personal statement, you're going to need a couple of things as well. Firstly, you should ideally have written at least the first draft of the rest of your resume already. You need that because personal statements should link to the other components of your resume. They're pointing out all the good bits. Secondly, you should also ideally have a position description. Now this may be hard depending on where you're located. Say if you're in Australia or New Zealand, you are normally applying for an intern position at a number of places across these two countries. So there may not be an absolute clear job description. In the UK, it may be a similar issue applying for foundation posts. For residency applications in North America, there may be a job description available for the actual post. Normally, however, there is some form of document that has the selection criteria on it, which is what we're actually looking for. What we are endeavoring to do is to match our best strengths to the job and tailor our resume and statement as much as possible. So, once you know what the key things the employer is looking for are, think about the key strengths or key skills that you have in your resume which match to these criteria. Now, we have already talked about one of these in our previous video about talking about communication in your resume. Communication almost always comes up as a key selection criteria for intern and resident posts. It's because it's so crucial that you have good communication skills, especially when transitioning from medical school into the workforce. So my formula for personal statements is as follows. First off, start by telling them what you can offer them. What value do you bring? It's really important that you lead with this first. Employers are looking for people who can add value to their organization, even if it is future potential. You're being respectful by offering them something first. After all, it's their job, not yours. So for example, as a medical student, you might say something like, I have recently graduated from one of Australia's most innovative medical school training programs where I developed strong clinical capabilities along with excellent communication and teamwork skills, as evidenced by high ratings in communication workshops and excellent supervisor reports, which I have listed in my resume. It's important that you do provide some measure of justification for your strengths, even if it is referring to someone independent, particularly with something like communication. The next part is that you need to show them why this position is a natural next step for you. Now, this is relatively easy to do for a medical student resume, but there is an opportunity to personalize things a bit. For example, in seeking this internship opportunity, I would strongly welcome the opportunity to work in your hospital, as I felt that I've already developed a strong understanding of the organisation through my 12 months on placement. Finally, you want to leave them with a personal reason for why you feel you are a good fit for this particular job. Now, this may be a little bit hard if your resume has to be submitted to a number of hospitals at the same time, so it might be a little difficult to personalise it down to that level. But if you can do that, then please do so. One way of achieving this is to make your personal statement a career goal statement. So we can do this by finishing off our personal statement by talking about where we see this job helping us or taking us into the future. Let's say in about 3 to 5 years' time. For example, working at this hospital will in particular give me a strong opportunity to develop my passion for general medicine, as it is one of the few tertiary facilities in the state that has retained a general medicine department. Ultimately, I would love to do my basic physician training at your institution. If you can point out something that's good about the hospital and make reference to seeing yourself working there for a good while, then employers really love that. So, that's one example of a medical student resume personal statement. I know it can be hard crafting a personal statement, so I'll leave a couple more on the blog post that I've written on medical student resumes, which I've left a link to in the description below. It's called Medical Student Resumes, a Written and Video Guide. A couple of points about personal statements before we dive off them. Some related questions many have about personal statements are as follows. 1. Am I limited to listing just one strength in my personal statement? Answer, no, but you will probably find it hard to provide a strength for all the criteria. So it's best to limit yourself to say 2 or 3 at the most. Otherwise you can risk losing their attention and also stop them focusing on where you want to be. Remember, this is determining the narrative that you want them to remember you by. So you have to make some choices here. So if you want to be known as the medical graduate with a strong research background, do that. But perhaps that doesn't mean that you refer to yourself as the medical graduate who used to be a management consultant. Try not to confuse them too much about who you are. Second, how long should a personal statement be? Answer, you should try to make it as brief as possible. Get someone else to read it for you. If you can use 1 word rather than 3, go for the 1 word. As a general rule, for a medical graduate, I wouldn't do more than a couple of paragraphs filling up, say, about the top third of your front page on your resume. But it's all relative, and as you go on further in your career, you may want to devote more front page real estate to your personal statement. Remember, the front page is the most crucial part of your resume. Anything that's important should be on there somewhere. 3, is there anything I should not put in my personal statement? Look, the main thing to avoid is statements or claims that you can't back up or you don't back up in your resume. For example, if you say that you have excellent clinical skills, then you should at least list the key ones you have developed under education. As I say, statements such as strong focus on high quality communication or strongly valuing teamwork get quite cliched and great on experienced employers. Don't add something in like this unless you can really back up how you have demonstrated it in your career so far. So that's personal statements. As I said, I will leave a couple more examples in the related blog post, Medical Students Resumes, a Written and Video Guide. I'd love your comments on this video, particularly if you are from a country outside of Australia. For example, what have you been told about personal statements in your resume in your country? Are they as useful or important? Do you get to tailor your resume, or do you need to keep it generic at this stage of your career? And a reminder that if you like this video, please leave me a like, and if you've liked more than one, why not subscribe and turn on notifications, and I'll see you in the next video about medical student resumes. Bye for now.